Welcome to Top 10 Amazing Fact. Today, we're taking a deep, detailed look at the Pearl Harbor attack, the strategy behind it, the chaos it unleashed, the heroes it created, and the lasting impact it left on the United States and the world. But before we begin, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss another powerful episode of Top 10 Amazing Facts. Your support helps us share the stories that shaped our world. 10. The attack began on a peaceful Sunday morning. December 7, 1941, started like any other peaceful Sunday in Hawaii. Many sailors were still asleep in their bunks. Others were getting ready for breakfast, polishing their uniforms for church, or writing letters home. For most, it was supposed to be a relaxed morning, but at 7:48 a.m., everything changed. The sound of aircraft engines broke the quiet sky as more than 180 Japanese planes descended on Pearl Harbor. At first, some service members thought it was a training drill, but when the first explosions hit, confusion turned into horror. Bombs fell from the sky, torpedoes skimmed across the water, machine gun fire filled the air. Within seconds, the peaceful harbor became a battlefield. That moment marked the beginning of a 2-hour assault that would shake the world. 9. Japan planned the attack for months. The attack on Pearl Harbor was not spontaneous. It was a meticulously planned operation designed to neutralize the U.S. Pacific Fleet. Japan sought to expand across Asia and the Pacific, but feared American interference. To buy time, Japan spent months gathering intelligence and training pilots for a precise, coordinated strike. Japanese spies in Hawaii studied ship positions, routines, and weaknesses. Engineers specially modified torpedoes to glide through the harbor's shallow waters. Japan believed that if they struck hard enough and fast enough, the United States would be too demoralized and crippled to fight back. They assumed America would want to avoid a long, devastating war. They were wrong. 8. 2 waves of attack. Devastated the harbor. The attack was carried out in 2 deadly waves, each with a different objective. First wave, maximum destruction. This wave targeted battleships along Battleship Row and the major airfields. Dive bombers released heavy armor-piercing bombs, while torpedo planes flew dangerously low to deliver their weapons with pinpoint accuracy. Within minutes, explosions erupted across the harbor. Second wave, finishing the job. About an hour later, the second wave arrived, this time focusing on destroying aircraft, fuel reserves, and repair facilities. Japanese fighter planes strafed anything that moved, while bombers targeted ships still afloat. By the time the last plane left, Pearl Harbor was covered in smoke, fire, oil, and debris. Entire sections of the harbor burned for hours. 7. More than 2,400 Americans lost their lives. The human cost of the attack was staggering. More than 2,400 Americans were killed, including sailors, Marines, soldiers, and civilians. Thousands more were wounded. The single deadliest tragedy of the attack occurred on the USS Arizona. A Japanese bomb pierced its deck and detonated inside the forward ammunition magazine, triggering a catastrophic explosion that split the ship open. The fire that followed burned for nearly 3 days. A total of 1,177 men died on the Arizona, almost half of all American casualties during the entire attack. For families back home, the news was devastating. Many didn't receive confirmation for days, weeks, or even months. 6. 8 battleships were sunk or damaged. Pearl Harbor housed some of America's most powerful naval vessels, and Japan intended to destroy them all. 8 battleships suffered catastrophic damage. The USS Arizona was completely destroyed. USS Oklahoma, capsized. USS West Virginia, sunk. USS California, sunk. USS Nevada, beached while attempting to escape. And USS Tennessee, U.S. Maryland, U.S. Pennsylvania were heavily damaged. The naval base looked like a scrapyard of twisted metal, burning hulls, and sinking warships. Japan believed these losses would cripple the U.S. Navy for years. But the United States recovered faster than anyone expected, something Japan failed to predict. 5. Acts of incredible heroism emerged in the chaos. Even in the middle of devastating loss, stories of bravery shined through. One of the most famous heroes was Dory Miller, a mess attendant who had never been formally trained on weapons. When the attack began, he rushed to assist wounded sailors, carried men to safety, and then took control of an anti-aircraft machine gun, shooting down multiple Japanese planes. All around the harbor, sailors broke through locked hatches, swam through burning oil, and risked their lives to save their shipmates. Medical staff worked non-stop, treating the wounded with limited supplies while explosions shook the buildings around them. Against impossible odds, countless lives were saved that morning because of ordinary men performing extraordinary acts. 4. Japan missed the most important targets. Although Japan dealt severe damage, it failed to hit the targets that truly mattered for long-term strategy. The crucial American aircraft carriers were not at Pearl Harbor that day. They were out at sea for various missions. These carriers later became the key to America's victories in the Pacific. Japan also left untouched the fuel storage tanks, the shipyard repair facilities, and the submarine base. Had Japan destroyed these, America's recovery would have taken years longer. Instead, the U.S. Navy was able to repair damaged ships surprisingly quickly. Japan won the morning, but not the war. 3. The attack united a previously divided nation. Before Pearl Harbor, Americans were strongly divided about entering World War II. Many believed the conflict in Europe and Asia was distant. But that changed instantly. On December 8th, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed Congress, calling December 7th a date which will live in infamy. The next day, the United States declared war on Japan. Factories transformed into wartime production centers. Young men volunteered for service in massive numbers. The entire nation rallied together with a unity the country had rarely seen before. Pearl Harbor awakened a sleeping giant, and that giant was determined to win. 2. The attack set off a global chain reaction. After Japan attacked the United States, Germany and Italy, both allied with Japan, declared war on America just days later. Suddenly, the United States was fighting on two massive fronts, against Japan in the Pacific and against Germany and Italy in Europe and North Africa. What began as a single surprise attack escalated into a truly worldwide conflict. Pearl Harbor did not just change American history, it changed global history. 1. Pearl Harbor became the starting point of America's victory in the Pacific. Despite the destruction, Pearl Harbor was not the end, it was the beginning. The U.S. Navy rebuilt quickly. Within 6 months, American aircraft carriers dealt Japan a crushing defeat at the Battle of Midway, turning the tide of the war. From that point on, the United States moved steadily across the Pacific, island by island, toward Japan. Pearl Harbor proved that even in the face of overwhelming loss, resilience, determination, and unity can rise stronger than before. The attack on Pearl Harbor was one of the most shocking and defining moments in American history. It reshaped the world, awakened a nation, and forged a legacy of courage and sacrifice that still echoes today. To honor those who were lost, the Pearl Harbor National Memorial was later established, a powerful reminder of the men and women whose lives changed the course of history. It stands today so future generations will never forget the events of December 7th, 1941. If you learned something new today, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible stories from around the world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.